Hello buddy, Crow back again with another pickups video, and I kind of know what you're thinking. What, you know, 2 pickup videos in a row? But I kind of wanted to divide out the pickup videos like I've said before. Last pickup video was just the movies and stuff. Now I don't know if that'll be a common thing or not. It was kind of more of an experimentation thing, but I think I kind of want to, you know, like I said before in other videos, separate out the pickup videos between, you know, the movies, the TV shows, and you know, CDs in one video, and then maybe, you know, differently themed pickup videos. Like in this case, it's all pretty much almost all newer games, whereas the one I did before the DVD one was pretty much all old computer, like Atari 8-bit and Commodore 64 stuff. And that way, that'll keep the length of the videos down as well. I mean, down from like 45 minutes to a 20-minute video is a big improvement. So I've got a big stack of games here, so I'm going to just jump right into it. And I already realized I have to pause because I didn't look up some information on this first game, so give me a second. Alright, I'm back, and let's just jump right into the first game. This is Galactic Attack on the Saturn. Now, what I had to look up is, this is known as many different games. This is, the original title of this is Ray Force. It's also known as Gunlock in the European arcade. It's also known as Layer Section, and of course here we have Galactic Attack. Now this is the first in a series of games, all starting with Ray. So it was Ray Force, there was Ray Storm on the PlayStation. I remember playing that. I'm going to have to try and find it. And then there was also Ray Crisis. So don't know too much about those. This kind of made me want to, you know, maybe pick up, again, Ray Force. No, Ray Storm, sorry. Getting all confused with the names. But basically, I remember playing Ray Storm on the PS1. Getting all mixed up here. Because, yeah, I remember borrowing it from a friend back in the day and really enjoying it. And then where I saw this, what reminded me of this game was Metal Jesus Rocks had a video of like the top 10 Saturn games, something like that, and this was in the title. And this was the game where I saw it, and I was like, oh yeah, and I searched on eBay right when I saw the video. Video was still running, and I was on eBay buying or putting a bid on this game. How much did I get this for? I don't remember. Let me pull up the eBay app and check. Alright, I actually paid almost $50. That's including the shipping for this. I think I could have gotten a little bit cheaper, but I really liked how this included everything. Everything is in spectacular shape, and even the case. It's very rare for a Saturn case to be in this good condition. It's like it's brand new. Whoever owned this really kept it in really good condition. So I was willing, and the feedback rating of the seller was really high. So I spent a couple extra dollars, and I was not disappointed in getting this. In fact, I don't think they shipped this in a bubble mailer. How long ago did I get this? I got this actually, it doesn't say right here, but I've had this for a good month and a half, almost. Almost like since the last, not the last pickup video, but the last one like I did in February. So I've had this for quite a while. Really cool vertical overhead. Horizontal. Is it horizontal scrolling or is it vertical? It's vertical scrolling. And you know, top down view. Very awesome. I like that style of shooter. I think I like it more than the horizontal kind. But what sets this apart is that you hover your targeting reticle over a certain area enemies, and they'll just lock on. And then when you hit the other alternate fire button, all the missiles that locked onto it will go there. And you try and get a high combo. It's a really challenging game, I think, but I was actually able to make it quite a few stages in before I ran out of continues on my first try. So this is quite an awesome game, and I'm sure you're seeing that in the footage over on the side. So yeah, I'm not regretting this purchase at all, even though this was $50. So and it's all because of Metal Jesus Rocks and his videos. And that's kind of why I watch videos like that, is to kind of remind myself of certain games that I may want, or maybe even to find out about games I didn't know. And that's kind of why I do these videos as well. Maybe somebody out there didn't know about this game, and they're seeing it from me for the first time, and that kind of puts it in their head, hey, maybe I want to play this. So that is Galactic Attack. Let's move on to quite a bit of a dud of a game on the PS Vita. That is Ridge Racer. Now, I kind of knew that this was kind of a dud of a game, but I went on Amazon anyway, and I purchased this for $20. It's not that the gameplay is that great. In fact, I think the year this came out, this was like the lowest, one of the worst games of the year. And it's not really because of gameplay. This plays like a Ridge Racer game. The problem is, it only comes with 3 tracks, and it wants you to purchase downloadable content for more. And there's only 3 more tracks available. And then there's tons of downloads to download extra vehicles. I mean, really, all that stuff should have been unlocked, I guess. Really, it's very bizarre, and there's a heavy emphasis on online play. And when you start it up, it asks you to join one of 4 teams, and then it's like, oh, you're on this team, you're racing against this team, and it's really all time-based. I don't think I've played this online. I don't know how well the online aspect of it is. I just kind of wanted a Ridge Racer game for the Vita, and that's why I bought this. And I knew that the game was getting low scores, and not necessarily because of the gameplay or the graphics or anything, but because of what they did with the content. If you think about it, the original Ridge Racer on the PS1, I think, had one track that had like 3 different alternate layouts. And this is basically heralding way back to those days. But I just wanted a Ridge Racer game on the Vita, and I'm actually really close to having like all of the Ridge Racer games. So that I think there may be 1 or 2 in the main series, not the spin-offs, but 1 or 2 in the main series that I don't have, like Ridge Racer DS. And I don't think I have the 3rd Ridge Racer game. I can't quite remember what it was called, but it was like Ridge Racer, no, it was the 2nd one, I think. Rage Racer, I think, might have been the 3rd one. I don't know, I have to look at that again. There's like 2 Ridge Racer games I don't have. One of them is on the DS, and the other one is on the PlayStation 1. And I might just pick those 2 up, just so I could have all the Ridge Racer games, because it is one of my favorite series. I kind of was hesitant the first time I played a Ridge Racer with Boost, but I kind of have grown to like that. I think Ridge Racer 6 was the first one I played that had that boost feature. I don't know if that was the first one. Oh, the other thing was that this is pretty much exactly like Ridge Racer 7. In fact, the 3 tracks that it includes are ripped straight from Ridge Racer 7. So it's like they took Ridge Racer 7 on the PS3, stripped it way down, and then made some extra stuff that is already in Ridge Racer 7 as well, downloadable content. So, you know, honestly, you're really better off with Ridge Racer 7, unless you really, really, really want to play Ridge Racer on the go. So, I just wanted to have it in my collection because it's a Ridge Racer game. That's pretty much it. If you want a game, if you want a Ridge Racer game that is heavy on content that you're going to want to play again and again and again, this is not the one. Look towards Ridge Racer 6 or 7. I don't really know. I haven't really played those all that well. The last Ridge Racer game I really played heavily was Rage Racer on the PS1. Even though I have Ridge Racer Type 4 and I have that special controller for it, I really haven't played it that much. Yeah, we will play you later. just humor him. Next thing is a game that my wife wanted. We had a $60 gift certificate reward thing for Toys R Us, and we needed to use it before the end of April. So we wound up buying 2 games, and the first game that we wound up buying was Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D. Now this is something solely for my wife. I am not interested in this game one bit. This is for her and her alone. I only played it a little bit to capture some footage. I'm not a big fan of the Nintendo 64 Zelda games. In fact, those games killed the series for me. I really haven't played a Zelda game since A Link to the Past. Now, I tried playing like Ocarina of Time. I got about halfway through the game and didn't really enjoy it that much. And Majora's Mask, the most I ever played it is an old Crow's Play video back when the videos lengths were limited to about 15 minutes, and that is the extent of my Majora's Mask game of that. I mean, I might enjoy the game more than I think I will. I'm just not into these Nintendo 64 Zelda games, and I really haven't played one of them since, except for the Four Swords. Is it? No, not the Four Swords one. It was when Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past came on the Game Boy Advance. It came with an extra mode that used link cables, and I actually played all the way through that, the one where you linked 4 Game Boy Advances together. I played all the way through that with my friends. I have the Four Swords Adventure, but I've not played that. I think I will enjoy that. I like the overhead Zelda games as opposed to 3D ones. Let me just put it that way. And in the Nintendo 64 days, Nintendo was taking all these games that I liked and putting them into this crude 3D type environment, and I just didn't really like them. That's why I didn't really like Mario 64 when it came out, Ocarina of Time. I didn't like Majora's Mask. It's just that whole era for me. To me, they were ruining the games by changing significantly what they originally were. I've gotten sort of over it, but not enough to actually want to play any more of these Zelda games like that. So that's Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D. It was originally $40, so we used the $60 gift card. And then finally, I wound up getting this game. I kept saying, hey, I'm going to get this game eventually, and here it is, Bayonetta 2. I was waiting for it to go down in price, but since we had that thing, I didn't actually wait. It was $59.99, $60. We used a gift card. I mean, I suppose we could have gotten this and not The Legend of Zelda, but we just wound up getting them together. And holy crap, I played like the first section of the game, and it right off the bat doesn't pull any punches. It's just as crazy as I remember the first Bayonetta game being, if not crazier. In fact, I died in the first level once, and it kind of took me by surprise. And I was kind of playing with the big Wii U gamepad, and I don't think I'd want to do that again in the future. I just wanted to play some of it really quick. And but the levels are really long. I think the first stage at least took me at least 30 minutes, maybe even a little bit longer. But yeah, not having played Bayonetta for such a long time, it took a while to remember the such things. And then playing with the huge controller kind of throws it off a little bit too, I think. But yeah, just craziness all out, and I'm really glad that Nintendo put this out for their system. Otherwise, we may not have seen it. And if you have a Wii U and you don't have Bayonetta 2, I think that is a big mistake. Not only that, but I do want to mention that this does include the original Bayonetta as well. There's the original Bayonetta in there, and then the sequel on 2 separate discs. Now, the only reason I mentioned this was because I posted it on Facebook, and somebody said, oh, you didn't want to get the Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2 pack, and I realized that whoever it was posting was from Europe, and for some reason, the European, or the Europe version, the Europe continent, as it were, got 2 different versions of Bayonetta 2. They got Bayonetta 2 by itself, and then a double pack, which was Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2. Whereas it seemed like every other region, like the US and Canada, and I don't know who else, got a package like this that just automatically included Bayonetta with Bayonetta 2. And it's nice because even though I still have Bayonetta on the Xbox 360, it's nice to have both games on one system. So, yeah, I mean, there's lots of different crazy costumes, I guess, you could get into. But I haven't gotten that far in the game. But Bayonetta was one of those Xbox 360 games I got hooked into and actually had to play all the way through. And this might be one of those too, once I start really getting into it. But let's move on, because there are a couple other games here. First off, this game, when I first got it, so I can say it and have some footage rolling while I'm talking about it, MotorStorm Apocalypse on the PS3. I saw this in GameStop, and it was a decent price. I think it was like $17. Now, normally I see it for a lot more than that, and it includes the manual, because you got to check for that kind of thing at GameStop, because they don't really seem to care if their stuff has manuals or even cases for that matter. But this is one of those games that I saw a long time ago, and I saw footage of it. It looked really awesome with the destructible environments and whatnot. And I was kind of wanted to get it, but the price of it always remained higher than I wanted to pay for it. It was $60 for the longest time, and then it was $30 for the longest time. I don't even remember what year this game came out in. Can I see that really quick here? No, I don't remember what year. It's been quite a few years since this game has been out. And it finally dropped to below $20. And after playing it, I got hooked on it. I actually played it for the next couple days. I just wanted to capture a bit of footage for it, and I wanted to play it for like 3 or 4 days. I played through 2 of the campaigns of the game, but it is just crazy, the destructible environments and buildings falling. You're racing from rooftop to rooftop. All the time buildings are falling. You're driving through a war zone, it seems like, half the time. The plot of the game is completely nonsensical, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, I kind of like watching little stories and whatnot. Basically, it's like taking place over some sort of festival. Some city is being destroyed or something. I don't remember quite the plot, but you're part of this racing gang or whatever, and they are having this festival, and they're doing as many races as they can through the destroying city. So you take control of one certain character, and you play through 2 days of races as him, and then you jump to another character, and you replay the same 2 days as that character. What I like, though, too, is it's always, in that mode, it's always giving you different vehicles. It's like you may be riding a motorcycle this one. Okay, this time you're driving a truck. This time you're riding a souped-up car. And they all have different attributes, and you have to drive each of them differently. Like the bigger trucks, you can more easily run people off the road, whereas if you're a motorcycle, you pretty much avoid everybody. And just the destructible environments and the multiple paths. I just got hooked on the game. Now it's not perfect. I did find that the controls of the vehicles to be a bit floaty. They didn't really feel like, sometimes I feel like I couldn't turn hard enough. And then during the same race, I felt sometimes it would just turn too hard, and it is just great. It's not perfect. It's still really hard to control. I think at times, I think it would have benefited for some kind of controls and physics, like San Francisco Rush series, where everything feels more solid. Whereas here, everything kind of feels floaty. But it's just a minor gripe. I'm still loving this game. And it was actually enough to tear me away from Grand Theft Auto 5 for like a few days, until the game got to like a certain difficulty, and then I just kind of went back to Grand Theft Auto 5. But yeah, this game, if you got a PS3 and you like racing games and destructible environments, this is your game. Seek out a copy. Another reason I bought it at GameStop is because pretty much it was the same price on Amazon, so I just bought a used copy. And I'm not disappointed. Moving on, got 2 more games to go. This is Guilty Gear Xrd Sign. Now, I don't really know exactly. Before I heard the game title say, I was calling this game Guilty Gear Xrd, and the game title doesn't actually say Sign. But I wound up with the limited edition for this, because I saw Classic Game Room do a video on this game, and it looked freaking amazing. So I'm really confused on the release date of this game, because when Amazon said the game wasn't being released until a certain date. Hang on a second. I don't need to look this up, but I don't remember quite what that date was. So when the date rolled around that Amazon said it was being released, I went to GameStop and I asked them if they had a copy of it. And they started looking through drawers, and they're like, "Oh, we've heard of the game, but we don't have the game." So I'm like, "We sold out." Okay, let me look at another GameStop. Nope, we sold out. So I'm like, okay. So I looked at Best Buy, I looked at Target, I looked at Walmart. Nobody has this game in stock. It's like nobody wanted this game to be in stores or something like that. So I'm like, okay, it looks like I'm going to have to buy this game online. So I went back to Amazon, and the regular edition of the game is $59.99, and I wound up. I looked at the limited edition, which I really wasn't interested in, but the limited edition was on sale, and it wound up being only $10 more. So instead of $79.99, it was $69.99. So I wound up buying the limited edition. They only had 2 copies left at the time, so I bought it, got the free shipping on it. And I am not disappointed that I got the limited edition. Now, before I go into what the limited edition is, let me explain a little bit of what's going on here. The game, Guilty Gear series, is primarily, first time I saw it, it was like a really, kind of like a higher definition fighting game with really great animated sprites. Now this game actually gets away from that, and it is, what you're seeing is all cel-shaded polygon stuff. And the advantage of that is now, even though it looks like it's animated like the previous games, the camera can, float around and do weird stuff, and it looks spectacular. And the game is kind of really easy to get into. They kind of made it easier for beginners to get into the game. The only downside is that this game would work great with a fighting controller, and I don't have one for the PS4. And I've only seen one for the PS4, and it costs a fortune. So I have to wait a while for a game arcade style game controller, an affordable one, maybe somewhere around $100 or less, before I actually think I could really get into this, because this game was kind of like beating up my thumb on the regular PS4 gamepad. So I'm looking for something like that. Now I tried the PS3 arcade stick that I had, and it just wasn't having any of that. It wasn't going to work at all. So that's the game. But what is in this box? I mean, it comes with a slipcase, and it comes with something called the Backyard, which is kind of like a book that is central to the plot of the game. So this is a really big and really impressive box, actually. And it really didn't convey that through the listing on Amazon, but opens up, and it comes with a nice art book. So it comes with this Guilty Gear Codex, which has actually an art book, and actually has like the stories of all the characters in the game, which I think is pretty good. Like what their motivation is and what's happened in the previous games, along with the art. And then also the Guilty Gear Vocal Collection, which has 10 tracks in it, and you're not going to be hearing it in this video, unfortunately, but the tracks in Guilty Gear are pretty awesome, and this game is no exception, so I'm glad I got the soundtrack to that. And of course, the game is in there. And then there's also something I'm just going to leave in here. It's a keychain, and it says free on it, but basically it's a replica of I think it's the main protagonist of the game, Soul Bad Guy. It's his belt buckle in a keychain form. So yeah, really great looking game. I'm glad I bought it. I'm sure I suck at it, but it's fun to play nonetheless. I'm looking forward to playing more of the story mode at another time. But yeah, just the game is crazy. Oh, downside. This game does have DLC characters, which is very annoying for a fighting game. And what's even more annoying is that, what's weird is that there's 3 of them. 2 of them are almost $8 each, and then the third one is like $3. So I don't know why in particular one character is like $5 cheaper than the other 2. It's kind of weird. And then there's like tons of downloadable costume packs. There's 2 free ones. There are 2 free ones. There's a Christmas one and a PSN version that were free. But all the other ones cost a bit of money, and that's kind of irritating, I think. The other thing I was saying was about the release date. Amazon said the release date was sometime in April. Oh no, sorry, it was sometime in March, because we just entered April, didn't we? And, but when I got the game, it had something about a free download up good through the end of 2014. And I was like, well, that's really odd. And then when I looked this game up on like Wikipedia and other game sites, it said it was released in either October or November of 2014. And it's just really odd because I had no idea. Nobody's ever talked about this game, and it took Classic Game Room to put up a video of it for me to even know this game existed. So it's kind of odd that there's this PS4 game out there with such a limited library that I didn't hear anybody talking about it. And it's an awesome, really awesome game as well. So if you're into fighting games and you have a PS4, look into Guilty Gear Xrd, or is it Xrd, as the game calls it. I call it Xrd. But yeah, Guilty Gear Xrd. It's a really awesome game. Finally, one last thing, and kind of amiibo related, but kind of not. Mario Party 10. My wife really wanted this. This was kind of one of her birthday presents. Hey, you know what? As I'm filming this, today is her birthday. But she got this a couple of days earlier. Her dad gave it to her, and they gave it to her earlier so she could play it. I've been playing this with her for the past couple days. We got the one with the amiibo in it, the regular Mario amiibo, and it's not in here right now because we used it. But what can I say about Mario Party? There's 3 different actual game modes in the game. There's the regular mode that is pretty much the same from Mario Party 9, where everybody rides in the same vehicle, and you basically start at the beginning and you ride to the end, and that is the entire game. So it's not like you choose, and it's kind of like annoying to me. Okay, well, it's got the advantage of being quicker than the normal style game, because it usually takes around 30 minutes, maybe even less. But it's kind of annoying because it's not really like a board game anymore, where the pieces all go their own separate ways and make their own separate decisions, but rather you're stuck along a straight path. On top of that, there's only 5 boards, and I kind of had to, I kind of feel like there should be more, especially since they take quicker to go through. So we've actually played through them all, and it really doesn't, and there's no unlockable boards like I think there have been in previous Mario Party games. Other than that, then the mini games are all right. And then there's another mode, the Bowser mode, where everybody plays as a team against Bowser. So one person can be Bowser, or everybody can be on the same team. And this mode is actually good for about 5 people, because you have the 4 people that are playing normally, and then the Bowser character, that person would use the Wii U gamepad. And yeah, so it's kind of interesting, and every mini game is Bowser versus everybody. So the mini games in that mode could get repetitive repeatedly, because there's not as many Bowser's versus games as there are just flat out other mini games. But it's an interesting mode, and what happens is that everybody takes their turn and makes it a certain amount of spaces, and then Bowser, the person who's Bowser, rolls like many dice and tries to catch up with them. And if he catches up with them, they have to play minigame. But what's really messed up is that if Bowser doesn't catch up to them, Bowser Jr. comes out and says, "Oh, you didn't make it. That's not enough. How about you roll again?" And so every time we played this game mode, Bowser always caught up every single turn, which is kind of frustrating. And also, I didn't mention it, but in the other version, you're always collecting mini stars. In a regular Mario Party game, you collect coins and then buy stars when you can get them. But in this other one, it's just mini stars, and whoever has the most mini stars wins. And then in this Bowser mode, you're basically trying to keep as many hearts as you can. You're trying to earn hearts. And when you play against the Bowser versus game, if Bowser gets you, you lose hearts. And if you lose all your hearts, you get out unless somebody else can revive you with more hearts. So it's kind of an interesting game mode, but to me it's not quite Mario Party. But the third mode is the Amiibo Party mode, and that actually does play like an original Mario Party game, except that the board is kind of like a smaller version of the board, and it just goes in a square, kind of like Monopoly or some game like that. But it turns out to be my favorite game mode because it plays like a regular Mario Party game, like up until 8. And since the board's smaller, and you only play 10 turns, so it lasts a little bit longer than 30 minutes, but it's still a quick game, I feel. It doesn't last hours and hours like previous Mario Party games do. But you do have to have amiibos. Everybody has to have their own amiibo to play this. And that in itself is not bad, I think. But the characters do hold on to their own certain items. What is really annoying about the game, though, is that you have to keep scanning the amiibo again and again and again. So every time you want to roll, you have to scan the amiibo. You want to use an item, you have to scan the amiibo. And a lot of times it feels like stuff you should just hit the button for. And it's like, oh, you've hit this, scan your amiibo to hit this block. Well, why can't I just hit the button? So it's takes a while to get used to doing that, having to scan your amiibo all the time. But other than that gripe, and I wouldn't call it a minor gripe, because to me it seems like a major gripe, it still is my favorite game mode in the series. And what I think is interesting is that some of the tokens you collect are, what it is every amiibo has a separate, different game board. So basically one of the characters you're playing in the game, you have their game board put into the game. And it's kind of divided up into 4 sections. But if you pick up another character's piece and you play that piece before your turn, you can randomly change pieces of the board to somebody else's board game. And I thought that was a pretty cool feature. Everybody pretty much has the same square. It's just that there's the event blocks that would change in the course of the game by swapping out the pieces of the board. And I thought it was actually a pretty good feature. So, you know what? I've been talking for like 30 minutes or so. So this is actually a pretty long video again. So I'm going to cut it right here. Thanks everyone for watching. See y'all next time. And before I go, next video is going to be Crow Plays for sure. And then I will be at Midwest Gaming Classic. So probably the next video after that will be something about Midwest Gaming Classic. And then maybe something on the Midwest Gaming Classic pickups. So that's all for now, really, this time. Thanks everyone for watching. See y'all next time. Bye.